Flames fans, we ask you to please direct your attention up to the energy board. Very special video presentation for a man who made us all very proud to be Calgary Flames fans.
Jarome Iginla has represented this franchise with dignity, class, and pride.
Once again, let's go! His first! Iginla to the left circle, Iginla shot, goes to save, rebound, he scores! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby!
On the ice with Iginla. Iginla scores! The golden goal! There it is! Point number 1,000!
For the past 16 plus seasons, the fans in Calgary and this organization have had the privilege and the honor of having one of the greatest players in the history of the game wear the Flaming C.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming back number 12, Jarome Iginla! Please remain standing. Remove your hats and join the longtime singing voice of your Calgary Flames tonight, Heather Luscano, accompanied by Flames organist Willie Jewson and members of the Calgary Fire Department in the singing of the national anthems.
Oh, so can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright
Juicin, and welcome back, Flames fans and season goers to the Smooth Night Saddledome.
The roars came in waves. They came from the heart. It was a beautiful moment for Jarome Iginla, Brick.
Yeah, and the tribute that they gave him wasn't about all the highlights and the goals and the accomplishments on the ice. It was the recognition and the appreciation and the thank you to a man and the integrity of which he lives his life.
And riding that wave of adrenaline, the Bruins and Flames get set to do hockey battle here. Montreal got clocked tonight by LA 6-love at Bell Center. So the Bruins have a chance to go up 3 points with a game in hand on Montreal in the Atlantic Division. The game is on. How do you channel the adrenaline, Brick?
Well, you just get involved, hit or be hit. I don't think much changes as far as your approach to the game, but you got to put that ceremony behind you and do it by trying to get everybody on the ice, a quick 30, 35-second shift if you can.
Milan Lucic sends the puck past Johnny Boychuk. Amazing that Boychuk's able to play so soon after having been carted off. Chris Russell holds the puck, defensive zone, gives it cross ice to TJ Brody. Brody's pass skips all the way up and out of play. Now, Johnny Boychuk said that contrary to what may have been believed, he was able to breathe while he was on all fours. He just couldn't move. His back just locked up, back spasms. But incredible therapy from the Boston training staff. And he's back in uniform.
Yeah, and no matter how tough you are, Jack, that's scary.
Yeah.
When you can't move, you get a little scared. No matter how tough or how many injuries you've already been through and came back from. That gets your attention.
Big hit down in the corner. Brian McGrattan goes for a second run at Dennis Seidenberg. Blair Jones chips the puck back into the corner. McGrattan, who is a big body, spent some time with the Bruins, although he never appeared in the game with them. Chris Butler, formerly a Buffalo Sabre, sends it to McGrattan. He gets it back in the goals. Torrey Krug sends it around, and it skips through Shane O'Brien back to the Calgary zone. Bruins change out. The Patrice Bergeron line coming on the ice. Brad Marchand on one wing, and Riley Smith on the other. David Jones, a right shot. Blair Jones, a left shot. Also on the same team. Here is Marchand. He bounces it down into the corner. Giordano, the captain now for Calgary, after Iginla was traded to Pittsburgh last year. Giordano will play big minutes. He rips it around through both corners. It skips through Michael Backlund's skates. Bounces middle of the zone to Johnny Boychuk. Ex-Bruin Dennis Weidman is one of many on the shelf for the Flames. He's got a hand injury. Now here comes Brody up to the center dot, and he flips it end over end into Bartkowski's corner. Centering pass, and Rask robs Yuri Hudler on the doorstep. Joe Colburn, once a first-round draft pick of the Boston Bruins, has found a pretty good home between Berchi and Hudler.
No, this is how the Calgary Flames want to play. They want to establish that forecheck, that high lob in. Difficult for defense to go back and retrieve. The Bruins try to go D-to-D behind the net. That doesn't work. It leads to the steal. The quick pass to Hudler coming off the half wall as the third man. Quality scoring chance, and Rask makes his first impressive save of the night.
Colburn gets thrown out of the faceoff. Kevin Miller pokes the puck to the boards, comes right back in front. And here's Nick Johnson in his debut for the Boston Bruins. He was called up. Daniel Paille feeling the effects of whatever bug is going around. Campbell throws an almost no-angle shot in on Reto Berra, and there's a sample of Nick Johnson's physical play, back pressure, knocking down Sven Berchi.
You know, there weren't a ton of spots really open or up for grabs in training camp, but he had an impressive camp.
Yep, got people's attention, lit the lamp, did the job defensively. And kept his chin up when he got sent down to Providence. Kept being productive down there. Brody goes wing to Mike Camilleri. Camilleri into the zone looking for Stempniak, who makes the deflection, and it bounces wide of Rask stick side. Boychuk pokes the puck ahead. Lucic off Camilleri's stick. Boychuk to Chara. He spoons it out to Iginla in front of the Boston bench. And they cheer for him here as they did for so many years. Longest serving captain in the history of the team. Chara the slap pass looking for Iginla low. Iginla works against Brody. Spins the puck to the dot. Stajan works it out. Got clipped down from behind. The crowd doesn't like the referee's interpretation of that not being tripping. Krejci drops to Iginla, throws it across the high slot off Brody's stick. David Jones right in front of his own bench to Paul Byron. He trickles it forward in the Boston zone. Kevin Miller sends the puck around through both corners. Iginla against Backlund, and Backlund tips it deep. Bartkowski goes D to D. Miller up the wing. Marchand comes laterally. Bartkowski a little shift to the shoulders to get around Boma. Lance Boma off the boards. Backlund can't chase it down. Miller back toward Calgary's end, and Giordano settles it down.
Yeah, and Calgary fans may watch Matt Bartkowski with some interest tonight. He was supposed to be coming to the Flames in the deal that was supposed to bring Iginla to Boston.
Oh, what they thought they had for an hour or two. Marchand can't control inside the Boston zone. Chris Butler softly into the corner. Boma hard against Kevin Miller, who plays the puck nicely to Seidenberg. Gets it up the boards to Riley Smith. Tries to saucer pass it. It's beyond Bergeron's reach. Marchand keeps it alive. Here's Smith, but he skates right into a triangle of red. Well, Blair Jones held the hands up, trying to get away with what easily could have been interpreted as a holding call, and in fact was. Innocent, too late.
It's a good gap by Dennis Seidenberg. Calgary's trying to get something going in transition. They go indirect off the wall, almost on a possession play to get around Bergeron. But there's that second layer, and it's Seidenberg, and he makes a possession play to the wall, and he tries to step into that puck. Jones wraps him up, and he'll go to the box.
Bruins 2 for 3 at Toronto on Sunday. Soderberg and Krug scoring the power play goals a minute and 33 seconds apart in the second period.
That should be a pretty good match, because right now the Flames are killing penalties pretty good.
Iginla drives one, and it goes off the end boards. The Bruins power play brought to you by Mazda. Yeah, pretty good. Might even be an understatement. Calgary killed all 6 shorthanded situations in Edmonton on Saturday. 18 straight in the last 4 games, and 36 of 39 in this building this season. So a very strong penalty kill. Lucic steals Giordano's attempt to clear it, but then gives the puck to Lee Stempniak, who sends the puck the length of the ice. Dartmouth's Media Relations Department leaning heavily on us to lead with the Dartmouth connection tonight with all the former Big Green skaters, but I think Iginla just nosed them out barely. Stempniak's one of them.
I would say quality before quantity, but they're all quality.
Yeah. And quality people, too. And they can keep a pretty good conversation without breaking grammatical rules. So Smith back to retrieve about halfway through the Boston power play, and not much of an offering for the Bruins offensively yet. Marchand cuts into the zone, brings it back to Seidenberg. The backhand down the wall, past Bergeron. But Brody with a nice pick, and he rolls the puck on edge all the way down to Rask.
Yeah, just too many unforced errors by Boston on both their power play units. It started with Milan Lucic just handing the puck back to Calgary when he could have made a play down deep, and right now the Bruins are just getting that one rush into the zone and not maintaining possession.
Bergeron to the end board. Smith fights for the puck, brings it back to Seidenberg, sweeps it off the backhand nicely. Soderberg wheels it right through the slot. Giordano pokes it up the wall. Seidenberg cannot prevent Paul Byron from poking it through to center. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Carl Soderberg gains the line, 1 against 4. It comes off a stick back to center, and there it is again. A rush into the zone, no shot, and right back out. And 10 seconds to go on the holding penalty to Blair Jones. Matt Bartkowski gains the line, Iginla takes the pass. 0 shots on goal for the Bruins during the power play. Iginla from Lucic feathers it to Krejci. The puck on edge. He drives it. It bounces back to the post. Loose in front. Colborne can't control it for Calgary, and Iginla goes to the corner. Brody pries the puck loose. Colborne picks it up, wheels quickly over the center dot. 3-on-2. Brody, the defenseman, jumping up. Centering pass rattles around and comes to the near corner where Brody goes down underneath Lucic, and Lucic takes a referee with him as well. Dan O'Halloran down there at the bottom of the pile. Krejci over the line. Krejci tries to feed Chara through the seam. Miller controls in the neutral zone. Miller hard around, back into the attacking end. Ryan Spooner going after it. Spooner playing with the benefit of a full night's sleep this time, as opposed to his debut in the call-up this time around for the Bruins.
In this line, Jack, Spooner, Soderberg, and Fraser didn't get a ton of time in the Toronto game. The Toronto matchup kept getting Kessel out there.
Backlund, the save by Rask. And he'll take the face-off in the Boston zone. Jarome Iginla getting a 2-minute 15-second standing ovation before we got it going tonight. Bruins and Flames 0-0 mid-first. The twisted but true fact of the game: Calgary 3 games under 500 at 11-14-4 this season, but 5-2-2 against the East. Entering this week, Western teams were 108-49-19 against the East. There are 14 teams in the West, 12 of the 14 above 500 against the East. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea, the refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. B, a little twisted.
2 of those wins, one against Washington and one against Montreal, so they're not all just easy games.
Campbell wide of the goal. Nick Johnson, who started the rush with that tape-to-tape dart of a pass. Now he one-hands it past Butler. Caron shields the puck, comes out of the corner at a good angle. Chara wrists it back around through the corner. Johnson right in front. Nick Johnson instantly making an impact for the Bruins, creating not just the rush, but a great opportunity in front of the goal. Johnson to Miller. You hear it so often, Brick. Players say keep it simple, but then seldom do they actually do it on the ice. But Johnson has been.
Well, he's got the benefit of a number of games experience in the National Hockey League, even though he's been in the American League the entire time this year. You know, having played obviously with Minnesota here in this building, in fact.
Yeah, 104 NHL games for Johnson, 14 goals, 23 assists. So he has seen a good bit of action. Brody feeds it out. Stempniak. And now it's Chris Russell with a nifty rush around Bergeron. The shot and a blocker saved by Rask coming out past the crease. Stempniak in the battle against Marchand, and Marchand wins the puck. Now it's Smith sending it through the slot. Seidenberg fakes the shot, goes deep against Stempniak, off Bergeron, past Smith, tried to kick to the stick but couldn't complete it. Stempniak on his horse working against Torrey Krug. Stempniak can't go through Krug, who played the body nicely, but here's Camilleri looking in front for Backlund fresh off the bench. Seidenberg blocks it. Krug draws. Backlund gives to Seidenberg, ahead to Krejci. Bruins in the middle of a change. Krejci through the seam, waiting for the reinforcement. Saucers to Boychuk. Can't make the catch and release in one motion, but Krejci takes the puck. Iginla in front, robbed by Berra.
Well, it started all the way back in the Bruins zone. Dennis Seidenberg held his ground. Wise play. He was able to steal that pass from Camilleri from behind the goal line. And then the Bruins in transition. David Krejci, while making a line change, puck possession master. Johnny Boychuk tries to make a one-timer towards the front of the net, but the Bruins still hunt the puck down. It was David Krejci again getting that puck towards the goal where Jarome Iginla was, where he usually is, in and around the net. First opportunity for Iginla tonight.
Off the faceoff, Brody jumps up, gets Boychuk on the turn. Brody can't get it through Barkowski, who steals it cleanly. Iginla sends Lucic. Here we go with the big trade, number 17. Lucic has become a real speed force for the Bruins, showing what he can do. His straight line speed and ability to change the angle as he did just there is creating an awful lot of offense for Boston this season. Backlund in over the line. McGrattan's shot rattles around. It's out of Rask's reach, and Krejci once again brings the blood pressure down. Boychuk into the neutral zone. Cross corner, spinning, dump in, and Brody has it as the Bruins change. Brody slips the puck to Giordano, hard off the boards. Krug picks it up. Saucers it ahead. Fraser takes the hit from Ladislav Schmid. The puck leaks out to Spooner. Seidenberg, D to D to Krug. Spooner coming nearby. Now feeds Soderberg. Back to Spooner. Spins it in front. And just missing on a beautiful setup. Matt Fraser. Ryan Spooner giving an idea of the creativity he has.
What a well-executed play. All three zones involved and all three forwards once Krug put the play in motion on that after the D-to-D pass. Thing of beauty.
Krug surveying what's in front of him. Seidenberg, indirect, does not connect with Caron. O'Brien, D to D to Chris Butler, comes up the middle. Colburn swings it. Berchi, a nice kick to the stick. Works Chara's side, gets spun around. Berchi comes out of the corner as Colburn went there to help out. O'Brien can't keep the puck in the attacking zone, goes all the way back into the Calgary zone to regroup. And it's icing.
Vote for the Amica Coverage Play of the Week and enter to win a $100 gift certificate to the Pro Shop at TD Garden, courtesy of NESN. Enter now at NESN.com/Amica Coverage Can.
Rick, we're getting great ratings in Fort Benning, Georgia tonight. Happy birthday to Chase Wheeler. He's the son of our director Rose and Scott Wheeler. Happy 26th, Chase, a specialist trained as a combat medic. Happy birthday to you, and thank you to everybody at Fort Benning and in all the bases, in all the armed forces. Marchand back of the Calgary net, finds Smith. Now Krug, the drive, goes wide, springs past and underneath Berra's glove. Marchand back of the goal, fends off Colburn. Colburn, the huge reach, but Marchand shielding nicely into Smith's body at the post. O'Brien finds the loose puck. Bergeron steals. He comes all the way across. Smith off of Berra, perhaps intentionally looking for a rebound. He didn't have much to work with on the backhand side, but he lobbed the beanbag in there, and Berra couldn't do much with it.
Yeah, it might have deflected off Butler, too.
Yep. Schmid deep in his own zone. Smith gives it a swipe and peels off for a change. Bruins finding a nice attacking zone rhythm already in this game. Kevin Miller finds Iginla coming below the dot. Lucic with Stajan approaching, and Stajan takes the puck away. Lucic gets in the way of the pass, and that helps force the turnover. Miller rams it in around the boards. Krejci the stroke on the backhand to Iginla. Cycles it out of the corner. Whips it in front off Giordano's legs. Lucic pursues, but Stajan controls for Calgary. Camilleri makes the pivot, gains the red line, and tumbles it into Chara's corner. Stajan going in there. Stajan dances around Chara. The puck squeaks out into the circle. Lucic clubs it near side. Miller hard off the boards. It's a spinning top. You never know. One funky bounce off an ice chip, and that's one of the wacky goals of the year. Chris Russell wrists it hard off the end boards. Boychuk after it. Backlund strong on the stick, but Bartkowski retrieves. Bruins have got the layers set up nicely. Here's Spooner on the turn. Can't get it through Russell to the corner. Bartkowski takes the dump in. And that'll be icing against Boston.
You know, we talked at the top of the broadcast about Calgary and where they are in the standings, and the 3 games under 500. And of course, Edmonton even further down as far as the standings are concerned out west. But I will say this about the Calgary Flames. They're over 500 in their last 10. We already mentioned the great penalty killing that they're getting. And they've played in 18 one-goal games already this year, and 9 of their 11 wins have been by 1 goal. Well, you let them hang around.
As Joe Colburn told us this morning, we may not be the most talented team out there, and we know it, but we're determined that nobody's going to outwork us, and they've worked their way into a power play as Berra goes to the Calgary bench and the extra skater is on. Colburn gets tripped up over Boychuk's stick, so that might have been 2, but I don't see another arm going up. Camilleri sweeps the puck back to O'Brien. To Camilleri, working 6 skaters against 5 with the delayed call coming. Soderberg gets possession, and here comes the call. It's going to be holding against the Bruins. Calgary to the power play when the game resumes at the Scotiabank Saddledome.
No score, Bruins Flames. The Bruins transition game put in motion. The speed of Ryan Spooner coming up the middle right here. Here's your passing lane created by Spooner in his speed. He's going to take a perfect pass from Krug, and now you got something going through the neutral zone on the attack. You draw people to you. That opens up Soderberg. Soderberg right back on the backhand finds Spooner again with speed on the net drive. A little spin move. Unfortunately for Matt Fraser, that puck maybe not flat when he went to shoot it.
Power play begins for Calgary. Giordano and Russell out high. Here's Camilleri, turns, fakes the shot, sends it in low. Giordano charges down the slot and takes the sweet feed. Yuri Hudler doing a pretty good job for the Flames, especially of late. Very productive.
Well, the Bruins try to be aggressive out to the points, but that allowed Giordano to get back to that slot area and take that one-time feed.
Stempniak turns off the half boards. He's there with Hudler, who has a 3-game scoring streak going. Hudler wins it from Chara. Stempniak saved by Rask. The puck trickles out past the glove side post. Giordano kicks to the stick. Couple of quick steps. Now Hudler, the blind feed in front. Giordano settles the puck in the corner. Brings it all the way back to Russell. Sprints off the wall. Chips the pass to Giordano. He's got Hudler far side. Goes for the shot. Stempniak with the knockdown. Tried the turn to the forehand, but the puck bouncing and he couldn't sweep it around Rask.
Third huge save by Tuukka Rask this period. Calgary only with 5 shots, but 3 of them in high quality, and that one was on Stempniak.
Seidenberg in the corner locks up with David Jones. Now Colburn throwing the 6'5" frame around against Kevin Miller. David Krejci seeing some penalty killing time. The Bruins are a little bit stretched right now. Combination of injuries and the bug that's racing through the team. Backlund shot off Seidenberg. Russell to the far side. Reverses. Makes the nice pivot. Gets it back from Brody. Krejci blocks the shot. Brody cross ice. Backlund shot saved by Rask. David Jones on the doorstep. Saved by Rask. Tuukka Rask, the Bruins' best penalty killer here, 1:48 into the man advantage.
And that's the time to stay deep along the goal line and then read that pass and get across earlier. The opportunity for Stempniak and Giordano. Giordano the first one. This was the second one for Stempniak. Right in that slot area. Rask able to read it, react. This time on Backlund, stay deep, get a long look at that cross slot pass, and get that left pad on the ice.
Calgary with just 2 power play goals in its last 6 games, but you wouldn't know it. From the 4 shots on goal they've already procured in this power play, which now expires. Bartkowski out of the box. Blair Jones flips it past Johnny Boychuk. Lance Bowman at the end boards. Chara spins off the hit as Bowman got out of the way. Now Boychuk backhands across ice for Bergeron. Bergeron wing to wing to Smith to Bergeron. The shot sails over the top and it hops over Smith's stick. Schmid rolls it forward. Calgary wants a full chain.
Well, Rask has been real good, but the Bruins have made some real good, crisp passes, especially entering into the offensive zone to create some opportunities for themselves.
They love the Alberta ice. This place and Edmonton have 2 of the best playing surfaces in the league. Lucic swivels it middle. Stempniak right in the right place. Lucic drubs Backlund, but the puck tumbles to Russell across to Brody. Russell, the dart to Camilleri up on one leg. I didn't know if he was trying out for a figure skating spot on the Canadian Olympic team there. No, probably not.
A former teammate of Jerome McGinley's and a guy that wears an A on his red sweater for Calgary, Mike Camilleri, said he was looking forward to a proper send-off for Iginla, and Camilleri is our Acura key matchup tonight. Meet the extremely new 2014 MDX at Acura.com/MDX. In 15 career games for Camilleri against the Bruins, he has 7 goals and 7 assists. And Jack, in 5 of those games, he has 5 or more shots on net. Tuukka Rask could be feeling the pressure tonight from Camilleri.
Thank you, Jamie. And Just as a point of interest, when we look at the 6th place Flames in a 7-team division, Mike Camilleri is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. Lenful.
Yeah, 31 years old. Still got a lot of hockey left in him.
Rask makes the save as Hudler has found the zone tonight. He's made a couple of nifty passes and just had the puck going in the corner, but for a nice save by Tuukka Rask. Colburn cycles it. Hudler, there's another beautiful pass right onto Berchi's stick. Berchi almost looks surprised by that. Hudler's bringing his full Red Wings regalia tonight.
Yeah, he's a good passer, good vision, likes to pass the puck. That pass was on Berchi's backhand, and Soderberg actually did a nice job to sag back into that slot area and make a good defensive play.
Colburn doing the work, but he gets sealed off and outnumbered. First Bartkowski, then Krejci, but Krejci banks it off the boards. Brody sends it in deep. Kevin Miller turning away from Camilleri. Miller on the pirouette. Bartkowski has Krejci coming deep. Bartkowski holds, goes north and south off Lucic's blade, and it tumbles into Russell's corner. Lucic hard on the stick of Russell. Then A-frames to get space now. Again, look for Krejci. The shot saved by Berra. The puck rattling around the crease. Miller comes cross ice to take it away from Chara. Lance Boma in the final minute of the first period. Here's Matt Stajan, swings it against the grain. Stepniak shot saved by Rask. Loose in front. Lucic knocks down Stajan. Iginla perfectly placed to steal a centering pass. Holds it at the line, finds Krejci, walks in across for Caron, and the puck on edge hops to the corner. Krug to Chara, the one-timer, look out. That was head high as it came across the goal line. Iginla finds Krejci, the swivel to Krug to Chara, the bomb just wide on the stick side. 3 for a corner. No, Chara stumbles as he goes to wrist it. And Boma almost had a chance. Iginla with space, the blast, and a save by Berra. Just got the right leg pad on it. That was labeled. Jones into the zone. Was that onside? Camilleri spins it in front for Backlund.
It was called that way.
Jones reaches up high as the horn sounds. It would have been playing the puck with a high stick. Furious finish to the first period, and Reto Berra with an unreal save on Jarome Iginla.
Yeah, nice stop on Iginla, nice stop on Krejci just prior to that. Maybe the best opportunity of puck going in was Chara's second one-timer that just missed on the far side.
Well, Dale, the first period had its fits and starts, but what were they waiting for? That last minute was a dandy. The road ahead brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Here we are on the Across Canada road trip, which continues in Edmonton on Thursday night, Vancouver on Saturday night. All of these games coming your way on NESN. And then the Bruins return to TD Garden to play Calgary, this same Flames team, a week from tonight. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at Ice Level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. We're coming your way live from the Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. The Bruins and Flames 0-0 heading to the second period. Well, you may recall early last summer, the Bow River and the Elbow, which come together near Calgary, overflowed. And how, in fact, there was so much water coming down the Bow River that the Elbow actually flowed backwards. It flowed upstream, and it threatened all of downtown Calgary. Jamie has more.
In late June of this past summer, the waters of the nearby Bow River rose and flooded the surrounding neighborhoods of Calgary. 30 million gallons of floodwater burst through the doors here at the Saddledome and filled from the ground floor until the 9th row of the event level. Training rooms, dressing rooms, electrical equipment, and years of Flames memorabilia was all destroyed. It took 650,000 man-hours to get this building back to where it is today. Jack, the crew took what should have been a 6-month project and compressed it into 2 months for the start of the Flames preseason.
Jamie, thanks. It's an incredible story of the indomitable frontier spirit that still exists in Calgary and throughout Alberta and the Canadian West. And, you know, Bob Hartley was among those who lost real treasures, not only about 20 years of manuscript, handwritten coaching notebooks of his entire coaching career, including the Stanley Cup run with Colorado, but also a pair of 40-year-old hockey skates signed by Bobby Orr. Vanished in the flood. They found benches made of 2x4s resting on top of the lockers in the dressing rooms. It was so devastating, astonishing to come back here and see this arena in brand new condition. And it's all about the volunteer work. They asked some towns, for 600 volunteers, and 8,000 people showed up to put the places back in order. First period summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. The Bruins looking for a little bit more north-south game here, Brick?
Yeah, absolutely. They spent a little bit too much time in their own zone. They allowed Calgary a little bit too much room in center ice, and therefore they had to retreat in their own zone and really try to retrieve pucks more often than they should.
Claude Julien playing his strong suit with the Krejci line out there, and Krejci and Lucic combine nicely in the neutral zone. Here's Iginla trying to bank it back, but it comes off of Camilleri. Slides it to Stajan, who shields the puck from Iginla and dumps it in. Chara takes it right back. There's some north and south to Lucic. He redirects it into the corner, and the Bruins get a clean change. Boston much crisper in the second period since the, quote, atrocious, embarrassing second period against the Montreal Canadiens. Brad Marchand has Bergeron blasting up the middle. Marchand gains the line. It's off of Schmid's legs. Past Riley Smith's reach. Johnny Boychuk past the dot. Angles it off the corner boards. Giordano chips it around. It rides the dasher. Backlund and Boychuk in a battle there. Backlund sprays it forward. Boma can't get it past Marchand. Little give and go. Smith to Marchand. He rings the outside of the post. Now Bergeron looking for Marchand, and Schmid gets a piece of the puck. David Jones wants transition. He's got Boma on his left. Jones tees up a blast. It's way wide, and the carom comes to Smith. Can't control the hot puck, though. Bruins were looking for a little transition. They turn it into a change, and here's Calgary in the neutral zone. Spooner bats the puck away from Berchi. Now Boychuk absorbing the Colburn hit. Boychuk in the corner. Bounces it through to Fraser. A nice reach around pass to Spooner. Spooner gallops up towards Butler. Fires it into Butler's skates. Gets it right back. Finds some space. Drives it on goal. Saved by Berra. And O'Brien plants Fraser. So, Brick, as everybody knows by now, Nesson is tracking zone time on its own. And the Bruins behind the Flames in zone time in the first period. And against Toronto, their least zone time in a 9-game span. Is that a sign of what's going on in the defensive zone more than the attacking zone?
Well, I think so. I think with the lineup and the injuries, and Calgary's in the same boat, but a little bit you get away from that fluidity of your game, the consistency of your game. That's not making excuses. Plus, Calgary actually did a better job with their power play than Boston did. That may have affected the numbers a little bit, but I think it's an indication that Boston needs to be better the deeper they get in this hockey game.
Hudler bounces it in wide of Rask. Calgary changing out. Dennis Seidenberg slides it back to Krug. He draws Hudler. Butler steps up on Fraser, who gets the puck through to Spooner. The Bruins make a quick change. O'Brien spins the puck to the corner, but Gregory Campbell, playing his 600th NHL game tonight, gets it along the boards. Can't keep it in the zone. Paul Byron lugs it all the way to the corner. Caron riding him, and Boychuk finishes. It comes off the heel of Boychuk's skate. McGrattan off the metal apron of the goal. You could hear it ping. Bartkowski sends it in. Campbell in front. Caron spins it to the forehand. Campbell in front. Johnson jabbing away, but Nick Johnson can't get it underneath Reto Berra.
Hard workmanship by the Campbell line. Jackie just mentioned 600. It's an impressive number. Anybody that can play that long in this league in the role that Gregory Campbell's been asked to play, certainly with the Boston Bruins, is impressive.
I'll tell you what else is impressive. His complexion looks like somewhere between gray and ashen.
Yeah, and he's not alone.
Yeah.
And the way these guys travel, the locker rooms, how the close proximity, the things that are shared. I mean, once the flu starts invading, they can get a lot of players, and some of the players are really dealing with it here tonight. And everybody needs to play, given the injury situation.
Yep. Chara clearly is not at the top of his game tonight, and he did not practice yesterday. But what did Tom McVie say? Fatigue is a state of mind. Chara, the tap to Miller. Miller snaps Stempniak's stick. Campbell one-hands it through, but Stajan pokes it ahead. Camilleri lobs the puck off the boards. Miller in front of Rask. Chara goes north and south for Caron. Schmid seals him off. Giordano to Stempniak, but his pass offline. Krejci kicks it loose. Miller draws Camilleri, goes off the end boards. Chara to Krejci, who came deep in front of Rask. David Krejci in front of the penalty bench. Loops it. It bounces off the dasher. Brody into the corner, but Iginla's waiting there. Snaps Brody's stick right out of his hands. Now goes around him, sends it low for Krejci. Goes to the post. Krejci tries to toss it in front. It rattles around off Backlund, and Berra clamps down on it.
From Boston Strong to world champions, NESN, in association with MLB Productions, presents Band of Bearded Brothers. The complete story of the Red Sox historic 2013 season is in stores Thursday on Blu-ray and DVD. For a list of participating retailers, visit NESN.com/Red Sox DVD.
Reto Berra is in his first NHL season, but is 26 years old. Johnny Boychuk's wrist shot saved by Berra. Krejci there, and he slides it just past the stick side post. Michael Backlund now stick handling. David Jones taps it into Bartkowski's corner. Jones goes in, swoops in, goes right to the goal. Boychuk was there, and Rask makes another big save. Jarome Iginla wrists it hard around through both corners. Brody scrapes it up towards center, but Krejci, anticipating nicely, takes it away. Brody gets it away from him. Seidenberg cross ice. Krug throws the puck off the end board. TJ Brody drops the pass off. Chris Russell into Seidenberg skates. Rask to get to the puck before Berchi can. Bergeron extends. Schmid can't steal. Marchand has to reach back for it, and Berchi turns it into transition. Working against Krug. Berchi to Hoodler. The shot deflects off Seidenberg and goes wide. And Bergeron wants to trade chance for chance. Here goes Riley Smith. Can't get it cleanly past Giordano. The Calgary captain sends it ahead. Here's Hoodler. He scores! End to end to end, and Yuri Hoodler lights the lamp for Calgary.
Well, Riley Smith tries to make an offensive play about, 7, 8, maybe 9, 10 feet inside the offensive zone. And when that play doesn't work, it's a quick transition by Calgary. Krug's going to stand up. And Seidenberg's going to keep this play to the outside. That's a shot that Tuukka Rask generally gets. Bruins give up shots from outside the dots, and I don't know if that puck curved, dipped, or just flat out under the glove of Tuukka Rask. And the Flames take a 1-0 lead.
Hoodler now with a 4-game scoring streak, 2 goals and 3 assists in that span. Johnny Boychuk tries to tip the puck ahead. They're quite proud of their petroleum reserves here in Alberta, and the natural gas as well, and they have these flames that are all over the arena that come out of guns, and you can feel the infrared heat even a couple of 100 feet away from them. Shane O'Brien off the glass, wiggles it down around behind Rask. Nick Johnson back there, but it's a turnover. Stajan trying to whip the puck middle, but he whiffs on it. Boychuk past Johnson all the way to the point, and Giordano's wrist shot sails off the glass. Schmid. Blair Jones holding, centers off Boychuk, and here's Nick Johnson. Johnson trying to go inside Giordano. Schmid, good tandem defense for the Flames. Loops it out past the red line. Camilleri can't flatten it, but he sticks with it. Jordan Caron unable to clear the zone. Stempniak off of Camilleri, off Stajan and back to center, but Calgary maintains possession. Giordano. The diagonal into Camilleri's skates. The dart up to Stempniak. Stempniak scales it toward Miller's side. He stumbles as he goes toward the boards. Johnson reaches around and clamps down against Camilleri. That allows Campbell to bring it into the zone. Brody picks his pocket. Stempniak straight ahead for Camilleri. Camilleri swerves laterally and feeds it over to Bowman. Miller muscles it up the boards. Iginla over to Campbell. Campbell looking for Caron. Swiped off of his stick, and Brody rushes the puck again. Chara chops at it, but again it goes right back to Calgary possession. Miller diagonally to Lucic. Now Jerome Iginla draws the attention, gets it to Lucic, but he can't control, and David Jones clear. Chara D. Torrey Krug fans on the first attempt, gets it to Iginla. He tips it ahead to Krejci, spins away from David Jones. Krejci holding out near the blue line. Wheels it back through the corner. Iginla taps it to Seidenberg. Seidenberg shielding from Backlund. Now it's Lucic letting the puck come up the half boards. Taps it low for Iginla. Iginla spins away from Backlund. Gets it past Russell all the way to Krejci in the near corner. Krejci self-pass off the boards, brings it across. The drive from Krug, knocked down in front and back to the corner. Good zone time for the Bruins here after they had a long time of not being in sync. Backlund in front of his own goal. Lucic finds it. Too much traffic as Calgary gets the numbers back. David Jones to the red line and flips it in.
Well, starting with the goal that the Bruins gave up on that sinking shot by Hula, or what appears to be a sinking shot. They had 3 shifts in a row where they didn't get the puck deep. Finally, the Krejci line did, and they were effective.
Smith off of Butler and into the screen. Flames lead 1-0 on Yuri Hudler's 9th goal of the season.
Bruins with their lowest attacking zone time in 9 games in period number 1. Period number 2, after the goal by Hudler. Also trying to get something going in the offensive end, but the turnovers are there. Campbell tries to beat his man one-on-one in a 2-on-2 situation. Then late in the shift, the dump-in doesn't get all the way in. Bruins try to make a play at the offensive blue line with their top line on the ice. And even though later in the shift they had good in-zone time, Bruins need to tighten up in the neutral zone and make sure they're getting pucks in behind the Calgary defense.
Bertrand, Marchand, Smith, the forward line against the Backlund line with Boma and David Jones. Giordano hard off the boards. Krug finds the handle. Backlund along the boards. Smith wins the puck battle. Marchand, a little juggle move to get between 2 Flames. Here's Krug, tees it up. The drive comes off the skate of Giordano. Seidenberg snaps the stick halfway down the shaft. Now Seidenberg gloves it back to Rask, and that's going to be a hand pass outside of the defensive zone, so the faceoff back to Rask's right.
Oh, real nice play by Torrey Krug to start this little bit of pressure. Good work by Riley Smith along the wall, and then Brad Marchand picking the puck out of midair, and then a flip self-pass in order to control that puck. And unfortunately for Dennis Seidenberg, when he was at that left point, a chance to put a puck right back on goal after a drive from the right point by Krug. Unfortunately, his stick, the shaft, breaks right in half.
5 times that's happened to Seidenberg in the run of play this season. Nobody else on the Bruins has had it happen to him more than 3 times. Spooner with a self-pass, works it all the way forward. Trying to go around Chris Butler, and he very nearly did. Now, Ryan Spooner's a lot better on a full night's sleep, isn't he?
And with a little more ice time.
Yeah. Well, he's going to get it for the next month, and as Claude Julien said, we don't need an extended look. He just needs extended experience, and he's going to get it here. Chris Kelly missing his 2nd consecutive game because of a broken fibula, the non-weight-bearing bone in the lower leg. And out 4 to 6 weeks. So the Bruins will miss him in all 3 zones. TJ Brody along diagonal. Camilleri has to spin off Miller's check, giving up possession. Chara trips it back to the corner. Camilleri gets it back to stage, and a floater in on Miller. Now Soderberg. Brody leaps up to glove the puck down. Stage into Stempniak. Back through Camilleri. The drive. What an extension by Rask. Camilleri getting the shot off with no space at all as the puck snapped back to him, and he got it right on goal, but Rask gets the right blade on it.
Yeah, I think it was Soderberg on the back check. Just kind of chipped that puck right back into the middle of the ice, and that's where Camilleri was.
Backlund muscling to the corner. It's off Chara's skates. Campbell goes to the boards, up to Johnson. He runs into David Jones. Chara staples Backlund. Campbell to Miller. To Chara. Hard around all the way to the blue line. Caron having some trouble there against Schmid. He keeps the puck in the attacking zone. David Jones takes Backlund's little feed, but the Bruins have good numbers. Caron and Campbell help to clear. Boston changing out as Schmid holds the puck back of his goal past the midpoint of the second period. Giordano, the long pass, looking ahead for Joe Colburn. Boychuk swivels to Bartkowski, gets it around Hudler and rides the dasher. Colburn seals it in. Hudler in the corner. Boychuk belts him. Colburn there in support. Flips it ahead into space. Hudler working against Bartkowski. Bartkowski nudges toward Lucic. Lucic swings it middle. Krejci with speed. Going at TJ Brody. Brody pokes the puck loose on the boards. Lucic follows, but Berchi keeps his position so Brody can make the clear. Colburn headmans the puck. The shot by Russell and a save by Rash. Krejci settles the puck. Lucic swinging low below the hash marks through the seam to Bartkowski. The Boston defenseman over the line. Tosses it toward goal and it's on Berra. Lucic throws it off the blocker. Lucic maintains possession. Shields it from Berchi. Runs into the referee. Pokes it away from Russell. Colburn's there. Berchi reaches back, picks up the puck and loops it into the center circle. Krug against McGrattan, a physical mismatch. McGrattan overpowers him, holds the puck. It's off of Smith's stick. McGrattan, a fan favorite here in Calgary. Now McGrattan tries to get leverage on Seidenberg and pries the puck loose. Seidenberg sticks with it. McGrattan turns it down the wall. Blair Jones takes the wrath of the Krug check. Smith ices the puck in the faceoff. Comes back to the Boston zone. Mike Camilleri had a great chance, but Rask was so sharp.
Yeah, Soderberg on the back check, or Campbell. I should say Campbell, I believe, on the back check. Kind of just chips that puck. And it comes right back into a perfect shooting position for Camilleri. And he just rips it. That's labeled far side low, stick side. And Rask has to get that right pad down in a hurry.
Seidenberg off glass. O'Brien trickles it to the corner as Camilleri centers it. Bruins not making a clean clear. Rask has to make a leg save. Marchand. It caroms back to Seidenberg. And here it is again, Brick. Bruins unable to go north-south quickly out of their own zone. And they give up possession at the Calgary line.
Yeah, Calgary's doing a nice job. They work hard. They're in good position. They're well coached.
Here's Camilleri off the post. It comes right back up the slot. Spooner hard off the boards, but Butler controls. Hammers it in deep. Camilleri and Chara. Camilleri hard back to O'Brien. The puck hops on him. Now Stepniak gathers it on the backhand. Turns it out of the corner into Butler's skates. Along the line to O'Brien. Hard for Camilleri. Turns to face the goal. Stajan looking for Camilleri, but Chara pokes the puck away. Smith to Spooner. Spooner from outside the line, off the end boards. The puck bounces flat against it. Soderberg causing a little havoc there, and Spooner goes in hard. O'Brien caves him in, and we get a hand pass ruled here. Berkshire Bank rewind coming up just 30 seconds from now. We rewind it to look at the opening ceremony honoring Jerome McGinley. The Berkshire Bank exciting rewind pregame honoring the longest serving captain in Flames history, Jerome McGinley.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming back number 12, Jerome
For 2 minutes and 15 seconds, they stood and cheered. Every month, Berkshire Bank gives away a Kindle Fire HD. Plus, at the end of the season, Berkshire Bank will assist one lucky winner with their mortgage for a year. All you need to do is vote for your favorite exciting rewind. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank to enter. Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. Life is exciting. Let them help.
A lot of the social media here with a similar phrase, Jack. Back in the dome with Jerome.
The Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Great building, very tight. Seats very close to the rink, steeply banked. 19,000 plus in this place for every single Flames game. Playoffs or no playoffs. Shane O'Brien flips the puck back. It's off Spooner's stick. Butler up to the Boston line. Byron can't control. Chara loads up for big impact against McGrattan. That was about 510 pounds of human being bashing off each other. Soderberg sets the edges. O'Brien turns to get inside. Soderberg stays with it to keep it alive for Fraser. Matt Fraser trying to get to the corner. Butler angles him off. Fraser pries it loose. Soderberg controls in Gretzky's office. Brings it back to Boychuk. The blast goes off Blair Jones's leg right to Bartkowski. The wrist shot goes wide. Boychuk loads up his drive. Caroms to the end glass. The Bruins getting some long-distance shots with some steam on them. Bartkowski thought about jumping to the line, but let the puck come back to center. Boston will get a change out of this.
Now following up with another strong shift in the offensive zone. Establish the forecheck.
Campbell sending it around the boards. Boma in front of the Boston bench. Caron ties him up. But here comes Backlund. Gets off a lot of steam on the wrist shot, but it's wide. Campbell taps the puck all the way to the corner. Brody back. Caron and Campbell attack the puck. Here's the forecheck. Johnson unable to get the puck to the front of the net. Brody into Campbell's legs. He seals it off on the boards, and the Bruins keep it in the attacking zone. Now Johnson pursues against Russell, who stumbles but gets the puck to Backlund. TJ Brody has some space for the Bruins in the middle of a change. It's off the back of Krug's skate. Krejci turns it to the red line, chips it into the corner. Iginla and Russell going there. Iginla goes hard to the boards. Lucic, it bounces off the dasher twice. Iginla picks it up, reverses to the backhand. Russell pokes it the other way, and the puck comes up over the glass and out of play. 4:08 remaining second period. The Flames out shooting the Bruins 16-9 and ahead 1-0 on the scoreboard.
We're back here in Calgary. Earlier tonight on Bruins Face Off Live, we introduced tonight's NESN Mobile Bruins poll. We asked which former Boston athlete's return was most memorable, and Ray Bourque has the runaway, but reply A for Drew Bledsoe, B for Ray Bourque, C for Roger Clemens, or D for Pedro Martinez. Text your answer vote to 536-536. Message data rates may apply. Text help for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and a privacy policy. Jack, any surprise there with Ray Bourque?
None whatsoever. Especially considering the audience. Stajan thrown out of the faceoff. Krejci and Camilleri wins it cleanly to Russell, but Iginla's all over him. Iginla belts Russell backward, but the puck spills out to center. Miller on the turn on the backhand. Brody and Lucic go to the corner. Brody backs off. Lucic chips it toward the post. It rattles around. Lucic too strong on the stick for Russell. Sends it center, but there's nobody home. Stempniak over to Camilleri. Camilleri draws it back, guns it off the boards for Brody, the defenseman. He turns the puck off the wall. Camilleri fires, and there it was again. He gets 6 inches of an opening, and that's a shot on goal. And twice Rask has made nice saves.
One of the reasons he has 220 goals in his career.
Camilleri hard to Stempniak. The shot saved by Rask, and he gloves it on the second try. Now it's Chara and Stajan. Full marks for Matt Stajan to go trying to punch uphill against Chara, but that's the battle he's probably not going to win. He's going to read about Sisyphus and the rock between periods.
Now staging a little push on Miller from behind. That brings Chara in, and that's more about survival than anything else.
Powerful instinct. Stajan came in the Phaneuf deal with Toronto. What, 8 players going back and forth, 6 anyway.
Phaneuf with the 2-game suspension on the hit behind on Miller, which was not penalized, by the way, and he's going to miss games against St. Louis and LA.
2 teams that play kind of physical hockey. Marchand ahead of the rush here and offside. 3:19 to go second period, so we're about 37 minutes into it, and the Bruins have a grand total of 9 shots on goal.
Yeah, no real sustained attack. Their energy level looks a little sapped right now at this point in the hockey game. Good news, they just down one, and it's, it hasn't been a lopsided game by any stretch. But the Bruins should have more to give.
Bergeron played the puck but dropped the stick. Backlund to David Jones. The snapshot off Seidenberg and into the protective netting. Dale Arnold has a game break for us. Dale.
Dale Arnold with the Toyota game break. Kings visiting the Canadiens, second period. Mike Richards, puck in the neutral zone to Kyle Clifford. Gets denied by Carey Price, but Tyler Toffoli tips the puck in for his 8th of the year. L.A. blows out Montreal 6-0. Jack?
Dale, thank you. So the night started on a terrific note for Bruins fans.
Yeah, it's not all Carey Price's fault, obviously, when you get blown out like that, but he did get pulled in that hockey game when we were up there and Boston lost 2-1. They were chanting his name.
Yeah, well, he's a tremendous goalie. And Montreal's for real. But teams have nights like that, as the Bruins in Detroit could well describe. Calgary Flames giving Boston all it can handle right now. Hoodler across the middle. And Krug knocks it back to center. Spooner, as quick as he is, unable to catch up to that. Shane O'Brien goes D to Chris Butler. Butler holds, chops it cross ice, and Hoodler catches an 80-foot pass knee-high on the forehand and drops it right to his skates. An indication of some stick skill on Yuri Hoodler. Bruins icing.
Let the Bruins help you find the perfect gift for the fan on your list with the Bruins Holiday Gift Guide presented by TD Bank. Get to a game, bring home Bruins gear, and more. Check it all out at bostonbruins.com/gift guide.
We were talking about Nick Johnson earlier tonight, keeping it simple. Is that the solution for the Bruins to begin to find their stride?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a little bit more sense of urgency and, a little bit better decision making. They had a pretty good rhythm going where they were chipping the puck in and trying to establish that forecheck. And we're looking for a higher energy level. Not sure if that's the flu situation or just the inconsistency with different guys in the lineup, but they got to find more energy in their game.
And here's Ryan Spooner throwing the pass into the neutral zone. The Bruins looking for a change, but they didn't get the puck in too deep. Schmid to Camilleri. Krug sprays it ahead. Stempniak, end over end. Seidenberg flips the puck to Caron. He spins it to center, but there's nobody there. Brody takes possession back for Calgary. Johnson on the forecheck. Brody having to go back of his own goal. Now turns the net, but Caron's in his face. Throws a hard pass to handle to David Jones, but he does well with it. Here comes Russell, offensively talented. Goes around the perimeter of Chara. Chara mashes Russell. Johnson around the boards, but not out. Brody waits for the screen to set up. Gives to Backlund to drive into the pile in front. Rask down on his fanny as Boma tries to jam it in underneath.
Well, the Bruins don't like to wrap the puck around unless they know that winger's posting up. It was Johnson that came back deep, but Caron's all the way back to the front of the net, so the only players up on the wraparound are all Flames. And they quickly try to get pucks and body to the net. Just too many bodies in front of Tuukka Rask for that puck to have any eyes.
Now, this has been a dangerous line for Calgary tonight. Joe Colburn, first round pick of the Bruins in 08, winning the draw to Russell for the long shot, and Rask making the save.
Frozen Fenway is back January 4th and 11th when NESN will bring you two Hockey East doubleheaders live from America's most beloved ballpark. Tickets to attend are on sale now by visiting RedSox.com or by calling 877-RED-SOX-9. It's the 2014 City Frozen Fenway, and it's live on NESN.
Colburn thrown out of the faceoff, so Hoodler will take it. Chara off the end boards. Calgary out shooting the Bruins 9-4 in the second period after 11-5 in the first. Campbell jumping into the open gate in the Boston bench, and they rule the puck out of play, or too many men on the ice.
Too many, I believe. There was nothing to blow that play down other than too many men on the ice.
Dave Jackson, the referee.
Well, we'll get a look at it. Bruins trying to dump this puck in, get a line change, establish a forecheck. Campbell's going to the bench. The puck comes right back up where the Bruins are trying to make that change. And you can make an argument either direction, whether you think this is too many men or not. Bruins will lose the argument.
Third bench penalty of the season for the Bruins in game number 31. All for too many men on the ice in Calgary, which had a pretty efficient-looking power play with a lot of good looks the first time around. Spending a minute and 26 of the 2-minute man advantage in the Boston zone. Gets another chance.
Yeah, just psychologically, emotionally, mentally, you want to go in this intermission down one at worst.
Giordano couldn't handle the pass across the line. It's offside. Face off back to the dot, just outside the Boston blue line. Well, the Bruins have been one of the most resilient teams in the National Hockey League all season. When trailing after one period, they have the league's best point percentage. And when trailing after 2 periods, they have the 4th best point percentage in the National Hockey League. So Boston's objective, finish the 15 seconds of this period, start the third with a good kill. Rask makes the save, the rebound all the way to the dot. Here's Giordano closing, fires in middle, pop-up rebound off Rask's stick, and Rask has to hold the post. Tuukka Rask making 3 stops in the final 15 seconds of the period.
Well, the year that Tuukka Rask is having, we haven't seen a whole lot of this, where rebounds on shots from angles go right back to the slot area. Looks like Calgary wants to pull their goaltender here, Jack, with 1.5 seconds to go as we get a look at the traffic and the opportunities and the pucks towards Tuukka Rask. But interesting move by Bob Hartley in Calgary. Get their goaltender pulled here in the second period.
Have Chara take the face-off and just go slap shot, right? 185 feet on the fly.
Sometimes you game plan for thinking the defensive team, the Bruins in this case, will try to go forward like with what you're talking about. And that's what you want as the offensive team. You got to think Bergeron's thinking all defense here, pull it back with the backhand.
Well, as he did to Sidney Crosby, Patrice Bergeron does at the end of the period here. Wins an important face-off and lets the horn blow.
Well, good news is the Bruins are 1 shot away from tying this hockey game, but they're going to need their best period in the third. First 2, just not enough sustained attack, not enough energy. Bruins need to come out in the third against a team that plays a lot of 1-goal games.
Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by the all-new Sierra, designed and engineered by GMC. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. By Amica Insurance. By Toyota's official website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. By the Massachusetts Health Connector. By your local New England Audi dealers. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. And by Subaru of New England. We head toward the third period with Calgary leading 1-0. Yuri Hudler's 9th goal of the year, Sven Barchi's 9th assist of the year, and Mark Giordano's 9th assist of the year. So 9s are wild. Moments ago, Brick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Doug Huda.
Doug United tonight to celebrate Jerome McGinley, and a thank you from the fans and a thank you from him. First of all, your thoughts on Jerome as a player and as a person?
Well, I think he's just a tremendous guy, and I grew up in this area, so very fortunate to watch him play over the years and how much he means to this community in this area. I think he's one of the guys that I've seen do so much community work for the city, and he means so much to him. So it was a nice ovation for him. He's well-deserved, and he's a great guy, and he's fitting into our team nicely, and it's getting better all the time.
You guys haven't had a whole lot of attacking zone time tonight, probably the lowest in maybe 8, 9, 10 games. What has to change in the third period to establish that forecheck?
Well, you don't get a forecheck if we don't get the puck in, and I know I keep probably repeating myself all the time, Rick, but if we don't get pucks in deep and you can't get any hits or a forecheck going, we're not a very good team. So we need to turn that around and get some pucks in and go after them this period.
Now, Calgary's played a lot of 1-goal games, and it looks like we're heading in that direction tonight. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks a lot.
Calgary's record in those 1-goal games, 9 wins, 5 regulation losses, 4 losses in overtimes or shootouts. Most coaches would take that.
Oh, yeah, that's points in 14 of 18. That's pretty good. The flip side is, well, you're 9-9, but not when you're taking points, not this league. And when points are at a premium, if you're the Calgary Flames, they're looking to lock this one up here in the third period on a night where they want to win badly. even though the night was all about the recognition of Jerome McGinley.
Game summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Calgary begins the third period on the power play. Interesting to note that Bob Hartley was Colorado's coach when Ray Bourque returned to Boston. And he said, yeah, that was a great day too, but we beat the Bruins, so we're hoping that we beat the Bruins again tonight. Russell bangs into Brad Marchand. The puck rattles around Stempniak's skates, and Marchand wiggles it all the way down the ice.
Well, obviously the theme here in the third period, you heard both Doug Huda talk about it and Johnny Boychuk. Stop the turnovers, especially around the offensive blue line, and get pucks deep.
Giordano to Camilleri. Miller steps up on it, and Caron swipes it into the Calgary zone. Yuri Hudler, the deep drop, and he goes up the right side. The pass to Camilleri at the attacking line. Miller smacks hard into him. Caron can't make a clean clear. Hudler picks up the puck. Still 15 seconds to go on the power play. Give and go. Hudler gets it back. Pries it out of his skates. Stempniak in the corner, hard around the boards. Hudler takes it. Seidenberg faces him. Hudler flips it up the boards to Giordano to Camilleri. Right off a Rask stick. And now here's Giordano at the hash marks. Low for Hudler. Tosses it in front. It comes to Fraser fresh out of the box. Fraser closes the shot. Glove save by Red O'Bara. Matt Fraser with a terrific chance, and Barrow with the save of the night.
Well, he's playing the off wing on that third unit for the Bruins, but now he's on the side he's probably more comfortable on, playing that left wing, really essentially coming out of the penalty box. And just because you're playing the right side doesn't mean you can't get onto the left side in a rotation in the offensive zone. But that's a real good shot by a guy that can score goals at the American League level. That was labeled high glove.
Krejci, Ginla, and Lucic, the forwards for Claude Julien's Bruins. Their first even strength shift of the third period. Boychuk punches it into Ginla's skates. It caroms back into the Boston zone. Krejci with a little trouble from Boma, who is a banger. Johnny Boychuk up to the red line, gets sandwiched by David Jones and Boma. Now Ginla in the right wing corner, trying to get away from Schmid. Wins the puck battle to Krejci to Lucic. Krejci turns and wheels it. TJ Brody preventing Lucic from getting that shot on goal. Here's Boychuk's drive, and it goes off Brody's skates. Krejci finds it first as the puck tumbles down, but Brody snaps it away from him. Brody with some quick strides out of the zone. Krug, the quick re-entry. Ginla, the short pass to Krejci. Boston in the middle of a change, getting a new D pair on the ice. Lucic turns, saved by Barrow, holding the low ground. Now it's Miller. Krejci's drive. Lucic looking for the tip. Bartkowski toward goal, and it rattles all the way back. The Bruins with some good zone time here. Miller sends it around. Brody pinned in by Ginla's check. Stajan wheels it into David Jones's skates up off the boards, and Berchi gets it in low. Bartkowski trying to get away from Berchi. Gets the pass to Soderberg. He pushes it ahead up the left wing. The shot goes off the skates of Butler into the corner, and Butler retrieves, chips it up off the wall. It rattles down near the Calgary bench, and I think it got in there, and they're going to have the face-off in the Calgary zone.
Yeah, I think it hit the bench inside the offensive zone for Boston, so that's going to keep the face-off, I believe, in the offensive end for Boston.
Yeah, it was an immediate and clear signal from the linesman.
You know, the Krejci line had great sustained time in the offensive zone, some pressure, some chances, and it was the result of Johnny Boychuk knowing he was going to get double-teamed, but he gains the red line cross-corner dump.
Soderberg to take the face-off. Ryan Spooner struggled a bit at the NHL level on draws. Blair Jones wins it. Fraser pursues to the corner. Soderberg gets it loose. Spooner flips it back into the corner. Spooner on the wall, right in front off a skate. Fraser taps the backhand down to the corner. Soderberg comes off the half board, sends it through the slot, nobody home. Fraser picks it up on the left side. Spooner giving up the body in the collision with Blair Jones to keep the puck in deep. Boychuk down the board, Spooner in front, blocked. Fraser getting back in good position. Throws the puck to the corner. Soderberg pursues. Boychuk kicks it across the slot as the Bruins change out. Now it's Johnson. Nick Johnson on the wall. Takes the hit from O'Brien to send it forward to the goal line. Campbell wrapping up Butler. Here comes Miller jumping ahead of Stempniak. Down low for Campbell. Nick Johnson on the backhand. Johnson gets double team penalty coming up here against Calgary. Campbell keeps it loose. Throws it on Vera. Possession for the Flames. And the call, holding. Boston to power play purely as a result of effort.
Effort getting pucks deep. Even when the Flames were turning pucks over high in the defensive zone, the Bruins are just throwing the puck south of the goal line and getting there and creating those battles, which is the strength of this Boston team. When they bring the energy, they bring the skating game, they get pucks deep, they win a lot of battles, and then they try to attack the net. You're going to get scoring chances. You're going to wear your opponent down. And a lot of times you draw penalties. Real good effort by the fourth unit. Campbell doing a nice job. Nick Johnson doing a terrific job. He eventually draws the penalty. Good read by Miller to pinch down the wall to keep the play alive. That's the energy the Bruins are looking to bring here in the third.
Well, the Bruins got a power play goal when down one in Toronto last time out. Here's Krejci at the middle of the line. To Chara the drive, and Berra strong right to left push to deny Chara. Backlund had broken his stick, but the puck sprays out through center, and that is a huge break for Calgary. Lucic winding up the left as Krejci carries over the center dot into the zone. It comes off Bowman's skate. Krug off Chara's leg, and Schmid makes the clear.
That's two unforced turnovers by Boston when they really should have something going in the offensive zone.
Krug has Krejci and Lucic double barrel up the left side. Iginla on the right. Iginla's shot just wide of the post. Chara, Krejci at the middle of the line. Krug top of the circle. Lucic and Iginla down in front of the goal. Now Iginla comes out high slot, and Krejci takes the puck at the blue line. Faces Backlund. Krug against Backlund. Now it's Krejci with Stempniak in his face. Bounces it to Iginla through the seam to Krug. Down low, Lucic to Krug to Krejci. He holds the drive, tipped by Chara. Iginla feeds it front, but it deflects to Backlund. He skates it out of his own zone. 3/4 of a minute still to go on the Boston power play.
A good puck movement. They really spread out the penalty killing unit and allowed for that shot from the point. And an easy redirect for Chara, who's left by himself at the top of the crease.
Marchand stick handling, passes to Bergeron over the line as the Bruins have fresh personnel on the power play now. Bergeron around the boards. Riley Smith waiting. Blair Jones in his face. Soderberg taps it up and rides the dasher. Schmid gets it to the hash marks, but Seidenberg pinches down to keep it alive for Boston. Soderberg goes in and pops it up. TJ Brody skates to space and hoists the backhand all the way past the Boston blue line. 5 seconds to go in O'Brien's penalty. 2 shots on goal for Boston. O'Brien's out of the box. Here comes Spooner. O'Brien bangs him. Loses possession along the wall. Hudler loops it up to the Boston zone. Colburn whacks it away from Seidenberg. Now bounces the puck through the corner. Berchi tries to chip the backhand in low. Seidenberg along the kick plate. Very strong A-frames, but Hudler's able to give some help. Spooner off the boards, but it comes to Chris Butler. Colburn turns and flips the backhand through the corner. It dies behind Rask. Gregory Campbell swoops back after it and flips it out to center. Giordano, D to D. Butler, north and south. Colburn redirects behind Rask. Calgary, a short shift, gets fresh legs on the ice. Can Boston make plays out of its own end? Krejci back to Bartkowski. Bartkowski skates it through the center circle, finds Iginla over the line. Iginla closes in front, looking for Bartkowski's tip, and Berra makes the save as the puck comes straight through. Krejci in the corner, gets it away from Stajan. Now Bartkowski, the wrist shot off Stajan's stick. Russell ahead for Camilleri, swivels to Stempniak on Chara's side. The shot sails way up high. Chara's stick might have gotten a piece of that. Iginla to Krejci. Krejci kicks to the stick. Works against Brody. Sends it off the end boards. Chara quickly to Iginla. Iginla against Stajan. Iginla continuing the effort. Lucic goes past Brody. Lucic to Krejci in the corner against Russell. Chara at the left point along the line to Miller against Camilleri. Throws it into Brody's body. Brody to the boards. Camilleri collides with Lucic. Holds the puck and goes cross ice. Stempniak going off for a change. Chara takes the gift. Iginla over the line to Krejci. Krejci holds. Gets it to Chara. The wrist shot off of David Jones's body. Kevin Miller goes to the corner. Holds it against Russell, swipes it for Lucic. Lucic has Krejci in front, but Brody blocks the centering pass. Brody reaches through Lucic, knocks the puck to the corner. Iginla goes to the wall, wins it against David Jones. It pops past the dot. Krejci to Lucic, the shot saved by Berra. Miller at the point, surveys what's in front of him. Now Krejci at the half boards, throws it on goal with Iginla jamming. Brody skates it laterally to get out of danger and just ices the puck. And this would be an opportune moment for Bob Hartley to call himself a timeout.
He may need it right now if the Bruins get back on this ice and ready for the face-off. Real good pressure by the Krejci line. Good job by Miller, who pinched down on the opposite side. David Krejci keeps the play alive. Lucic with a bad angle shot, but that was labeled far corner.
On they go without the timeout. 9 shots in the first 40 minutes for the Bruins. 10 shots on goal in the first 8.5 minutes of the third period. And remember, the third began with a Calgary power play. Marchand shot off Hoodler's stick. Bergeron taps it to the corner. Riley Smith brings it back to Seidenberg. Hard to Krug. One times it off the end boards. Marchand can't get it through Backlund and Schmid. Krug pinches down. Hoodler gets caved in on Marchand's hit. Now Bergeron along the wall. Crowd looking for a call. Krug fakes the shot, finds Seidenberg past the dot. The shot blocked down. Boma off the boards. Krug is on it. The Bruins dominating with tremendous attacking zone time here, but unable to beat Reto Berra. 10:47 to go in the game. It's still 1-0 Flames. Gordon, thank you very much. Well, Mountain Time is 2 hours behind Boston time, so maybe just took 2 periods for the Bruins to get their legs going. Last 4 or 5 minutes of play, Brick, have been truly impressive as the Bruins have penned the Calgary Flames in their own end.
Yeah, decision making. They put pucks in areas where A, they have a chance to get to it first, or B, certainly get there and create 50-50 puck battles. And they brought the energy and skating game along with the better decision making.
Matt Fraser trying to get around Chris Butler. Butler off the glass. Boychuk gloves it down past Camilleri. Butler, middle of his own line. Blair Jones gets it to the Boston zone. The shot and a save by Rask. Jones disguising it nicely, getting off a really good wrist shot. Boychuk hard against Jones, gives him a little cross check as a little thank you. Now here's Soderberg blocking it off of O'Brien. Holds, gives to Spooner, the one-timer wide. Boychuk to Soderberg, high slot backhand off a stick, bounces high off the dasher. Spooner gloves it down. Soderberg in the corner, sizzles the pass along the wall to Boychuk, over to the rotating Bartkowski, back to Boychuk, the wrist shot off his skate. Spooner has to reach back for it and can't keep his balance. Jones can't clear the zone. Butler from his knees gets it to the red line. Boychuk kicks it ahead. Clever move by Soderberg to stay onside. He flips it softly to the corner. Soderberg letting the puck go in, leaving his stick in the zone, but getting his skates past the blue line. So it was a delayed offside, and he tagged himself up all in one motion. And now I believe Thor Nelson, the linesman, is down near the Boston line, and he looks to be in a good deal of pain.
Yeah, he get hit by the puck on the attempted dumping.
That is a tough way to make a living, folks. No home games either. We'll check on Nelson when we return. The Audi Performance Play brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight.
It's been an unfortunate one-goal game in terms of Boston and Boston's fans, because it was a turnover just inside the offensive blue line, but it was a shot from the outside the dot, that seemed to dip on Tuukka Rask and get under his glove. It's the difference in the hockey game, but it was at a time when the Bruins were turning the pucks over too often in the neutral zone around the offensive blue line. It cost them on that one. Much better here in the third period.
Linesman Thor Nelson unable to continue. And so we're down to 2 referees and 1 linesman. And good friends Jarome Iginla and Mike Camilleri have suspended the friendship until the final horn of this one, because they are having a pretty good go down there. Stajan gets thrown out of the faceoff, so Camilleri will take it against Krejci. Krejci wins it cleanly back to Chara. So one of the referees is going to have to wait at the line and call the onside. Here's Iginla, throws it into the middle. Russell leads out Camilleri, now laterally to Brody. Stempniak into the zone, throws it on Rasta, rebound, Stajan, digs it loose. Iginla gloves it down and sends Krejci away. Lucic barreling up the off wing. Now Lucic goes around Russell, closes in on Berra, gets a piece of his stick. Brody skates diagonally to get away from Iginla. Camilleri the touch pass to Stempniak, and Stajan jumps the line offside.
Good shot by Stempniak. Took a little something off it, actually. Designed to get a rebound, and that's exactly what he got. It's a pretty good line for the Calgary Flames. Stajan in the middle, Camilleri on the left, and Stempniak on the right. One of the few times they've really had any kind of presence in the offensive zone this period. And that's a good shot. You see the Bruins use that tactic a lot. If you don't feel like you can score from there, put it on goal where you have an opportunity to get a second chance.
Stempniak, a two-time All-American at Dartmouth, finishing up at number 5. Lance Bowman can't make the pivot and keep control. Miller flips it forward. Giordano takes it right back. Schmid to Backlund, the one-touch pass. David Jones gets it in deep and pursues against Seidenberg. He turns away from the check, but there's Backlund perfectly positioned. Bergeron scrapes it around through the corners. Giordano gets it back in deep. Miller with David Jones approaching. Kicks it loose, finds a little bit of space. Finds Smith at the half wall in the defensive zone. Smith patient with the puck and throws it in deep. Now can the Bruins put on the board check. Bergeron on the half boards. Backlund backs into him. Bergeron to Smith. Can't swivel it through Giordano. Bergeron keeps it alive. Smith to Bergeron. Trickles it past Schmid. Ladislav Schmid goes D to D to Giordano as the Bruins get fresh legs on the ice. Less than 8 minutes to go. Blair Jones. Boychuk turns it the other way. Campbell around through the corner. Giordano past Caron to Hoodler. Boychuk pinches down, and the Bruins get some more attacking zone time out of this. Boychuk tries to rake it out of Hoodler's skates. Caron wins the puck to Campbell, who turns the stick, throws it through the slot, nobody home. Bartkowski far side, pops it up against Blair Jones. Colborne flips it over everything and into the stands. Did it tick the glass on the way out or not?
That should be a penalty.
Joe Colborne is going to go to the box for delay of game, and the Bruins will have a power play with 7.5 to go.
Well, once again, the Bruins getting pucks deep, creating some pressure and pinching their defenseman. This time it was Bartkowski that pinches down the wall. Colborne comes over when he gets to this loose puck. He's trying to go off the high glass and out. Straight up over the glass, delay a game penalty. And the Bruins, with good momentum here in the third period, good offensive zone time. A chance for the power play to get this thing even.
Lucic, the man of the night at Iginla, the big man Chara, Krejci, and Krug. The power play in it for Claude Julien's Boston Bruins. Mike Camilleri is one of the penalty-killing forwards with Matt Stajan. Chara in the corner. Now Iginla back to Krejci. Krug holding the puck. Krejci fakes the shot, tosses it corner to Iginla. He catches it on the skate, works it away from Brody. Krejci to Iginla. Lucic at the goal line, draws Brody. Krejci holds. Krug's one-timer, snaps his stick in two. Krejci works his way through the driftwood. Down past the dot as Krug loads up with new lumber. Chara's pass into Iginla's skates. Krug's at the left point now. Krug snaps the pass to Krejci. Krejci back to Krug to Iginla, the one-timer off a stick. Chara on the rebound after the puck hits the post and goes behind Berra. Iginla comes off the boards with possession. Lucic at the dot, rotates with Iginla. Krug holds. Now Chara at the dot. Iginla on the far side. Krug's drive scores! David Krejci ties it! The Bruins with a power play goal to even it up!
Great puck movement, decision making, all kinds of options, not being stationary. And David Krejci with a great hand-eye coordination and timing to get to the front of the net. A lot of rotation. A lot of players changing places with one another, trying to create different seams, whether it's a pass play or a shot. And this is a well-executed shot, head up all the way by Torrey Krug. He's looking for David Krejci, and he delivers a shot right in the perfect spot for a redirect. Gets it by the oncoming forechecker and allows David Krejci to get that little redirect down between the legs. Ton of time in the offensive zone with that puck possession. Keep the momentum. You got Calgary, a team that has some doubt in themselves, given where they are in the standings. Keep the pressure on them.
Boychuk gets it in deep. Here's Seidenberg's shot, and Berra makes a save with exactly 6 minutes to go. Folks, you know, Brick ought to have his own little web camera so he can do cocktail napkin drawings between periods. Because what Boychuk just did was almost exactly what Brick was drawing up between the second and third periods. Why do you think that kind of a hard dump in with forward support is going to work so well against Calgary?
Well, I just think they flood the zone, and if you can get pucks deep into the corner where you get to it first, transfer it from one side to the other, it opens up the point on that side where the puck ends up once you go behind the net.
Backlund turning the puck out to the neutral zone. Bergeron clamps down hard on Backlund. Here's transition. Marchand, stick handling. Giordano turns it off glass. Boychuk tries to kick it to keep it in the zone. Here's a break for Backlund with Blair Jones going middle of the trailer. David Jones off Bergeron's stick as Bergeron gets back in position to make the defensive play. Giordano on the rotation. The shot, stick, save, rebound, hops over Blair Jones' stick. Al Fraser brings it past the red line and dumps it in as Boston changes.
You know, I know it seems like it's not a big play, but Marchand in a 2-on-2, why not just chip that puck below the goal line again? Don't try to beat your man one-on-one. You're having success by laying pucks in behind, even though you're already in the offensive zone. Make them turn and go get it.
Go Flames, go. The chant from the 19,000 plus here at Scotiabank Saddledome. Kevin Miller can't get it out of the Boston zone. Colburn on a determined shift here. Takes the puck from Berchi. Colburn was the man in the box for delay of game when Boston tied it. Bartkowski was the man who pressured Colburn into putting it up over the glass. Soderberg takes it away. Spooner pressures against Colburn. Here's Spooner sending Riley Smith up the off wing. Spooner is the trailer. Smith goes in and scores! Riley Smith, an unbelievable move! And he goes top shelf. The Bruins have scored twice late, and they lead 2-1.
Well, I'm not sure if this was done by design, where they changed the wingers on the lines. Matt Fraser out there earlier with a different group, and now Riley Smith out there with Spooner and Soderberg, and it's good hard work along the wall. Force that puck, turn it over, stick position, both Spooner and Soderberg, and get that puck moving north. And how about this move? Riley Smith on the off wing maintains a level of speed, and he's going to lift this puck, or just settle this puck underneath the stick of Brody. A self pass to get it to his forehand, and as Berra goes down, it's short side up over the glove.
2 goals and $1.38. It has happened again. The Bruins were down 1-0 and Toronto scored twice in 1:33. Both of those on a power play. Tonight, the first one on a power play. And 2 goals in 1:38. 4:20 to go in the game.
And don't go into prevent defense. Keep the pressure on.
Camilleri drives the puck to the opposite corner. Krug. Camilleri throws it in front, but Lucic is there. Jerome McGinley skates it past the red line. Gets it in deep. Somebody's listening. Lucic past the Ginla to the near corner. Camilleri with the Ginla pressuring. Comes up the wall. Staging. Plants as he got an edge caught. Schmidt past Krejci's body on the boards. Lucic seals off Stempniak. Staging gives the effort, but the puck tumbles to Kevin Miller. Indirect for Iginla. Gets it over the blue line. Tosses it to the corner. Krejci going to work there. Comes back past Iginla to Miller. The one-timer sizzles through the slot. Seidenberg takes a big hit far side from Blair Jones. Brody, a quick little move to get around Iginla, who's at the end of the shift. Blair Jones on the right. Seidenberg keeps him perimeter here, right into the middle. Brody turns and fires it into the pile. Bergeron, Miller, and Seidenberg all back. Brody couldn't make the quick move as he didn't have the puck on the forehand in the shooting position.
Yeah, there's definitely a tweak in the lines. Fraser playing with Bergeron and Marchand, and that put Riley Smith out there with Spooner, and it paid off.
Claude Julien mixing it up when nothing was firing in the first 2 periods. Butler backhands the puck down to the corner. Seidenberg there turns it away from Backlund with less than 3 minutes to go. Boychuk chips into Fraser's skates. Fraser lugs it over the red line, tries to get it deep, but it can't get it past Schmid.
Hard to do on the backhand from that distance in a puck battle.
Chris Butler, the former Buffalo Sabre, over the line. The pass too far forward for Berchi, who almost toe picks. Bartkowski to Boychuk. Hoodler seals it off, throws it middle. Berchi's backhand. What a save by Rask! Sven Berchi spins to the backhand, and as you know, it's unpredictable. The goalie has no idea where it's going to end up, but Rask makes the save to preserve the lead given to the Bruins by Riley Smith's deep work. The game report brought to you by the all-new Sierra. That's professional grade. Not much for the Bruins to smile about in the first 2 periods. Yuri Hoodler had given the Flames a lead through 40 minutes, but 2 goals in a minute 38. Krejci and then Smith. The Bruins 10-2 on the face-off dot in the 3rd period, and shots 15-5. And make it 11-2 as Bergeron wins another. Giordano did not keep the puck on the line in the eyes of the linesman. And Thor Nelson, by the way, has returned. That's a hockey guy. He'll need an ice bag at least after this one. Maybe something that goes on ice too. It's late night, we can say those things, right?
I could say that at 7.
It's happy hour somewhere. Soderberg with a big hit, knocking Russell off his skates. Giordano to Russell, clicking toward 2 minutes to go in the game. It has not been a 60-minute effort for a Boston Bruins team beset by injuries and sickness. Here's Berchi, but 20 minutes might be enough if they can finish it. But here's a scramble in front. Riley Smith just wanted to spray the puck wide. It hit a leg and goes all the way to the Calgary zone. Camilleri's over the boards, and he has the puck, tries to reverse it. It's off Iginla's stick. Stempniak gets smacked by Chara right into the boards. Chara tosses it past Camilleri. Boychuk doing pretty well, playing with a sore back. Giordano staples Boychuk in. He's content to let the clock run. It's less than a minute and a half to go, and there goes Red O'Bara making his way to the Calgary bench. Here's Krejci with the net empty. Krejci to Lucic to Iginla for the open goal. No! Giordano turns it into the attacking zone, fires it around through both corners. Kevin Miller on the ice with the goalie pulled for Calgary. Iginla taps it to center. Giordano and Iginla. The once and current captain of the Calgary Flames in pursuit in the final minute here. Giordano deliberately out of his own zone as the clock continues to spin. Sends it off the end boards. Lucic attacks the puck. Russell into the corner. Giordano picks it up, drops it off, and here comes Camilleri. Scored 39 goals one season. Gives it over to Stempniak. It's off the skate of Iginla. All the way back to the Calgary zone, and the Bruins will get a change. 20 seconds to go for the Flames. Stempniak over the line. Marchand locks up with him. Chara knocks it loose. Bergeron on the clear. 10 seconds to go. The Bruins largely outplayed. Only 9 shots on goal in the first 40 minutes, but a 2-goal explosion in a minute 38 in the 3rd. And on Jarome Iginla night, the Bruins play 20 good minutes and pull a 2-1 win out of Calgary.
Impressive effort by the Bruins in the 3rd period. Message received between periods 2 and 3. The good news was they were only down by a goal. Not that they were under siege for 2 periods, but they brought the energy that just wasn't there for the first 40, and they win a hockey game as a result.
Sven Berchi had a pretty good chance after Riley Smith put the Bruins ahead. It's the save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Well, one of the few times in the 3rd period when the Bruins didn't manage the puck well, Hoodler had a strong game for the Flames, sets up Berchi for the spinning backhander. Those are difficult to read, but Rask, the only thing that beat him tonight was a puck that strangely dipped off the stick of Hoodler, and the Bruins continue to find ways to win.
I think it was a spitter. 26 saves for Rask. and he puts up another 1 or none performance. And Dale Tuukka-Rask continues to give the Bruins the kind of goaltending it gives them a chance to win. If not for the way he held the fort in the first 2 periods, that third period, pull it out of there. Gizzard's effort never happens.
All in all, Jack, I'd say it's a pretty good morning so far. Good morning to all of you. Coming up on Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live, we'll get reaction from the Bruins dressing room. Head coach Claude Julien will go one-on-one with Jamie Erdahl. We'll preview Thursday night's game.